Hey everybody, this is Smacksby. I've been playing the For Honor beta this weekend, and I thought I'd make a quick video just now to share a couple of thoughts I had about the state of the game as it is now. So I've only played a couple of hours of the game itself at the time I'm recording this video, but I've got a couple of thoughts about how the development looks to me at this point. First off, I tried to play a few games just with a mouse and keyboard, and I gotta tell you, not a fun experience. So my first bit of advice for anyone going into the game post-launch: get a controller. I started playing with my Xbox controller maybe halfway into my session, and the difference was night and day. The way the controls are set up, you've got to swap your stance around a lot in order to block and also attack your opponents when you're locked onto them. And I just found it a lot more intuitive to swap up my stance using my right analog stick as opposed to the keyboard setup. It just made a lot more sense to me. Console players who are making the jump to PC when this game comes out, you're probably going to be an advantage. But all you keyboard warriors out there, I'd really recommend get an Xbox One controller or a DualShock controller, try it out, get used to it, especially if you want to play this game competitively. Speaking of playing competitively, I spent a little bit of time playing the team-based 4v4 Dominion game type during the beta, and it looks to me, at least in the competitive sphere, as if the game is going to develop along the lines of MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota or other games like that. So Dominion is a 4v4 hero on hero mode where you have 3 control points you've got to take command of, and a mob of like AI controlled minions on each side that are fighting over like a middle ground. So it seems to lend itself really well to like the laning team comp of like a League of Legends team. And I think it's going to be great, especially when it comes to the more serious competitive elements of the game. I think especially from a spectator point of view, it's going to make casting the game a lot more, especially speaking as a spectator, it's going to make casting the game a lot more intuitive. Commentators are going to be able to use lingo and terms that we already know in order to describe what's going on in the game, which I think is going to make the actual watching of competitive For Honor just a little bit more interesting, and it's going to be a bit easier to get into, especially if you're talking to a MOBA crowd. And on that note, one other piece of information about the game: for the love of God, get yourself a team. When playing Dominion, it was very clear that team composition is going to be seriously important, especially because team fights were rife, especially around the control points. It's easy enough to isolate single players and just take them on one-on-one, but a lot of times during the beta I found myself stuck in 1v2s, 1v3s, even a few 1v4s, which, because of the targeting mechanic in the game, made it really difficult to break out as a single player and get away from big 3-on-1 team fights. On the flip side of that though, there is nothing more satisfying than getting your whole squad together and 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, just mauling enemy heroes. It is so satisfying. That's really all I've got to say about the game at this point. I'm probably not going to get it at launch, and if I do, I'm probably going to get it for console. There's a lot of other elements about the game that I'd really like to talk at length about, especially the meta game that's already developing between the 3 factions in the game, but that's probably for another video, maybe even a blog post or something like that. I just don't have the time to do it here. But it'll be really interesting to see, especially how the competitive scene develops around this post-launch. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, hit the subscribe button. And if you played the beta this weekend and you want to talk about it, let's carry on the conversation in the comments. Anyway, I've been Smacksby. I will see you all next time. Peace.